Hi, I'm Mr. Tapley here for your next lesson of Year 9 Humanities. This lesson we are looking at developing our understanding of biodiversity and connecting environmental changes to biodiversity loss. Success criteria is to define biodiversity, so what does that term mean, and explain the importance of sustainable human development to protect the world's biomes. So looking at how environmental changes impact life in our environments, in our biomes around the world, and how human activities are connected to biodiversity loss. So what does that word mean? Biodiversity is a measure of the number of species present in a particular ecosystem or region. So basically number of animals and plants within a particular biome. So bio is life. If you guys go on to study biology next year, you'll find that out. And diversity means range. So a variety, a lot of different types of animals and plants. The Earth's biodiversity, however, is currently under threat, decreasing at a rate that possibly rivals the mass extinction of the dinosaurs. The exact rate is difficult to determine. However, we are currently losing somewhere between 17,000 to 100,000 species of animals and plants per year, which is a pretty astounding number. This biodiversity loss has serious consequences for the environment and for human life. We depend upon the environment for ecological services such as food, resources, water, etc. And as biodiversity decreases, these services are eliminated. So we depend upon the environment, on the animals, the plants, the biomes that we inhabit, and if those are damaged, then that's going to hurt us in the short term and in the long term. Got a quick little video for you up the top there. Recommend you check it out. 4 minutes long. Very informative. Some of you are probably thinking, well, I don't really care if I lose 1 or 2 animals or plants from my environment. Why should I be concerned? Well, the environment is connected. So if you lose 1 animal or 1 plant species, it will impact countless others in a chain reaction. So if this guy dies off, that's bad because we lose that animal from the environment, from our biodiversity. And then let's say that the animal that used to eat this guy, he's going to die off because he doesn't have enough food anymore. And then the animal that used to eat that animal, they will die off. Let's say that this guy actually used to eat a lot of a specific type of plant, which was poisonous to this type of animal. Now that animal is going to be in trouble. So it's all connected. Examine the different species below. How many do you believe are extinct? Just a little fun guessing game. We've got 10 different animals there. Names of the animals are listed on the slides below. Slide notes, I should say. You can search for yourself to find out which of these are still alive. Now, what is causing biodiversity loss? Habitat destruction. So if you destroy an animal or a plant's home, it's going to be hard for them to live. So different animal and plant species have evolved throughout history to adapt to their unique habitat. So animals and plants that live in the desert biome have evolved over thousands of years to make sure that they can live in a desert biome. However, if human activities destroy their habitats, those species will struggle to survive because they don't have another 1,000 years to be like, oh, hold on, I'm moving to the tundra because you've destroyed my habitat. Okay, cool, I'll go change myself to survive in cold weather. Can't do that. Another reason that we are seeing biodiversity loss is over-exploitation of resources. So we're being a bit too greedy. So if we divert water from a river or a lake to a human settlement, for example, the animals and the plants that depended upon this resource to survive will suffer, and biodiversity loss will eventually occur as animal and plant species diminish. So over-exploitation is just taking more than we can, basically more than is sustainable. So if we have an entire forest, instead of cutting down 10 trees so that we have wood and whatever we need for human settlements, we cut down the whole forest. Or instead of fishing out 10 fish from a lake or a river, we fish out the whole lake. Pollution. Human activities have decreased the health of the land, air, and water. The smallest change can destroy an environment's ability to support life. Environment is very fragile. As you guys saw when we looked into climate change, even a very, very small change in the temperature or the air quality or the water quality in a region can make it uninhabitable, I should say, to animal and plant life. So it's impossible to support life. which is why human activities such as pollution have impacted biodiversity. Sustainability, protecting the future. So biodiversity loss is almost entirely due to human impact. Our use of the Earth's resources is pushing different species to extinction. So that's bad, but if it's almost entirely due to human impact, that means that we can change it, we can improve it. So if it's only us that's causing the problem, then we can fix the problem. All human activities impact the environment. However, humans can reduce their negative impact by practicing sustainability. So if we use natural resources at a rapid, unstable, and irresponsible rate, the environment will be permanently damaged. However, if we use resources sustainably, so not too much, we will allow the Earth to naturally restore and recover lost resources. The environment is very, very impressive in that it has these naturally built-in kind of recovery mechanisms. We just need to take a step back and let it do its thing, and it will be able to fix itself. So climate change, the temperature increasing around the world, ice melting, sea levels rising, the Earth can fix that. It's done it before, it's done it in the past, but we just need to stop punching it in the face. If you want an example of sustainability, I found this really cool video here about this little village in Japan, which I'll absolutely butcher the pronunciation of, Kamakatsu. And basically this town is impressive because they have zero waste. So nothing in their town is wasted. There's no rubbish. It's all recycled and reused. So that's how you would practice sustainability. They're not using too much. They're actually reusing what they have used. Cool. So the two main terms I want you guys to focus on in these question activities in your digital notebook are biodiversity and sustainability. So question 1 is to define those terms. So what does it mean? Question 2, explain the importance of biodiversity and the dangers of biodiversity loss. So why is biodiversity important to human life, to the environment? Why is it important to protect biodiversity in our biomes? And then what are some of the negative impacts of biodiversity loss? So not fixing the problem. Question 3, I want you to list a specific example of each of the main causes of global biodiversity loss. So we've got the 3 causes we looked at in the slides were habitat destruction, over-exploitation of resources, and pollution. So basically connecting the dots between these 3 things and biodiversity loss. So how does pollution impact biodiversity loss? Easy. Final question. To evaluate whether you are living a sustainable life, use the link below to calculate and record your ecological footprint. So your personal environmental impact. So if you click on that link down the bottom, it takes you to this little survey set up by the WWF, so the World Wildlife Foundation. You just need to enter your school email or whatever email, and it gives you a list of questions about, do you recycle and how much electricity do you use and blah, 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 blah. And at the end, it tells you what impact you're having on the environment. And it's cool. It measures if everyone lived as you do, how many Earths we would need, how many planet Earths we would need to meet your energy demands, to meet your environmental impact. Mine was pretty abysmal because I commute like an hour to work, so I use up a lot of petrol. So if everyone lived like Mr. Tapley and commuted an hour to work or to school every day, the environment would be in trouble. So that's just a bit of a fun one at the bottom there. So 4 questions to smash out in your digital notebook, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. It's important that you do understand the topics that we've looked at up to this point, because the next couple of lessons this week, before we go back to school, we will be completing the dev task, which is going to be focused on biomes. But we will talk more about that in the next lesson. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Otherwise, best of luck, guys. Hope you're well, and cheers.